Hello, happy Friday. Intelexx here with your light and love of the day. Now, as you know, like we always do, we are only going to be on here for a few minutes. All right, but I wanted to talk to you about your story. Stick to your story, right? We all have our own lives. We all have stories to tell. And the only person who can tell your story is you. No one can tell your story better than you, right? So just like you see people who are in the limelight, where their household names, you know their stories because they've told them. Other people have shared them, but other people wouldn't have known what they were going through and what they've been through to get to a certain level of success if they didn't share it themselves. This is why it is so important to be authentic, to be real. You can't live someone else's life for them. Somebody else can't live your life for you. No one can share your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows, and everywhere in between because they're not the ones that's living your life, right? So be mindful of what you decide that you want to share, because there are people out here who need to hear your story. There are people out here who may have a similar story than you, and they might be afraid to share because they think they might be the only ones who done been through it. Nobody will understand. They might get ridiculed or talked about or slandered or whatever. Your story is your own, and we all have things in our past that we don't want to discuss. We don't want people to know about, but when you share your story, that is freedom for you. Share what you have going on. Share so people can know, because people can get free just by you sharing your story. Every mountain that you've climbed, every valley that you've been through, every test, every trial, every tribulation, every loss, every heartache, everything that you've been through in your life has created you to be who you are, has refined you to be a better version of yourself. And your life doesn't stop at your test. Your life doesn't stop at a certain level of success. It continues on and on and on. So when you are in a place where you have an opportunity to share where you've come, where you've been, and where you plan on going, don't hesitate. Walk in that boldness. And if you are afraid, that is okay. If you are scared, that is okay. Do it scared anyway, right? Courage is not being bold and being fearless all the time. Courage is facing those fears in the midst of being fearful, right? So when you are given an opportunity, and all of us have platforms, all of us are on social media, and if we don't have social media, we are in contact with other people. There are plenty of opportunities that you can use to share your story, right? Sharing somebody else's story is good, but the ones that resonate with me personally the most are the ones who share their own story, right? We've all had heartache. We've all had loss. We've all had ups and downs and breakups of all types, and relationships of all types fall off, and things get taken and things get added, and the list can go on and on. Some people are born blind or born deaf or born with one limb or no limbs, and there's something for everybody. And whatever you've been through is because you can handle it. You're not given more than you can handle. So if you were given a certain life, that means you are able to sustain it, right? And like I said earlier, there are people who need to hear what you got going on, right? Because you can help them to overcome whatever it is that they are going through. So just be mindful of that, right? Tell your story. Tell it. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Some of you, your voice may have been silenced. Your voice may have been overpowered by whatever may have happened in your life. Your voice is freedom for you, right? Some people might say you talk too much. Your voice is freedom for you, right? Because if you were given a specific purpose and a specific gift, that gift is meant to be shared. We all have voices, and our voices are meant to be shared. Because how can you tell somebody about what you got going on if you don't open up your mouth and say it? So, share your story. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't be distracted or feel dissuaded if people don't agree with you, or if you lose viewers, or if you lose support. It's not about that, because at the end of the day, who's for you and what's for you will never miss you. So tests actually bring out the integrity of people that are around you. People can say, oh, this is my best friend, we've been friends forever, until that one thing happens, and then you really see what happens. But pain pushes you into purpose. Pain is a part of your story. Love is a part of your story. Endurance is a part of your story. Persistence is a part of your story. Don't leave any part out, and don't sugarcoat it and make it seem all nice and dreamy because you think that that's what the people want to hear. We want to hear the truth. We want to hear the nitty-gritty. We want to know everything that's a part of your journey, because everything that you've been through made you who you are today, and is continuing to make you into who you are meant to be. So don't be afraid to share your story, because we need to hear it. All right. Like I said, I'm only on here for a few minutes. I just wanted to come on and share that with you. We all have stories to tell. And if you're busy telling other people's stories, no one will ever hear yours. So don't neglect your story because you want to share everybody else's, because yours is just as important too. All right. So at Intelexx Artrepreneur Agency, the Indie for Artists, we have so much going on. Definitely subscribe to our email list, or become a member and get the special perks so you can stay up to date on all things Intelexx. Showcase Your Talent show will be the last Sunday of the month from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. Registration is still available. We still have so much coming out. Our Meeting of the Minds Mondays, Q&A Wednesdays, Freestyle Fridays, and so much more. Make sure to check out our podcast as well. But to stay up to date on all things Intelexx, subscribe to our email list. It is free $99. Again, I am Intelexx, and this was your light and love of the day. Just to remind you to tell your story. It is okay. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't need anybody's validation. You got your validation from God. All right, so share your story. Don't be afraid to put it out there, because people need to hear your story, not everybody else's. And don't sugarcoat it. All right, keep it real. All right. So until next time, have an amazing night and an awesome rest of your week.